and welcome to the What a Sweet Holiday Hop. Today, we are sharing inspiration for the upcoming holiday season with food-themed projects. We hope that you find each project as delicious as your favorite holiday foods. At the top of the description box, you will find the link to the next person in the lineup. I hope that you take the time to watch all the videos because we love your comments and your thumbs up. If you aren't already a subscriber, I hope you consider subscribing and click on the little bell so you won't miss any of my uploads. You can also use the hashtag SweetHolidayHop to find all the videos in this hub. Some of us might be offering prizes on our channel, so be sure to pay close attention for details. Please check out my description box for all the details below.
Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make a quick and easy gingerbread man card. For today's project, you're going to need the primitive gingerbread and the small gingerbread from Impression Obsession. They do come as coordinating dies. First off, we have the primitive gingerbread, and that comes with the gingerbread man itself, and it has the little heart, the holly, and a bell. So this is a really good size. I'd say it's fairly about 3 inches. It also comes with these set of dies that are corresponding. It has a vest. It's got the little skirt for a girl if you wanted to make a girl. So overall, it's got a lot of details if you want. Here is the small gingerbread, and it comes with a little heart die. Then it also comes with its coordinating dies. Again, it does come with the vest, a little dress, and I kind of want to think of this of a family type die set. So I got all 4. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with a 5.5 by 7 card base. I also cut out a craft cardstock to 5.5 by 7. I'm going to adhere this down onto my card base utilizing any type of glue. In this case, I'm going to be using my Xyron roller. So it's up to you. From time to time, I like to use this, or I like utilizing liquid glue quite a bit. So it depends on your choice. Because I'm using the tape runner, in order to make this easier for myself, I stand up the card to adhere down the craft cardstock to the base. This just makes it a little bit easier to make sure that everything is lined up. And there you go. Next, I cut out a piece of white cardstock to 5.5 by 7. That's going to fit right over this particular card base. Now, I did use a scallop die. This is from Simon Says, and I placed it in one place and then slid it on over. As you can see, it doesn't necessarily extend, so I had to manually do that. And that was the easiest process ever. I think that's going to be the most difficult thing for this particular card. Now, I am bringing in a plaid stencil, and this is from Tim Holtz. I'm going to go ahead and utilize some candied apple for this. Initially, I decided that I wanted to make this a layered plaid, but I decided to stick with just this particular pattern. I just want to make sure that I line this up along one edge. That way, when I shift this over and kind of work my way up or down, everything will be just in one direction or the other, but not on both sides that I have to make any adjustments. I just want to make sure that I have enough tape just to hold this down. I don't want it moving around, otherwise it's going to ruin the effect of the plaid pattern. Just make sure that you charge up the dauber quite well. Otherwise, you're going to be missing splotches or it'll be too uneven. So you want to make sure that the color comes out evenly. And I am not too convinced with this particular stencil and utilizing a dauber because it looks like it's kind of missing stuff on the pattern here. But that's okay. I can always come back in with a brush, and that's why it's always good to kind of see what works and what doesn't when you're crafting. All right, now we're cooking with bacon fat. So this particular brush works wonders with little details that we have, such as with this pattern. You see all those little fine lines. This is really getting in there and saturating the paper with color just the way I would want it to. Typically, I would like using my dauber because of that, but that's okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and shift this down once I've finished getting all that color onto the section that I've been working, and kind of continue that pattern down the whole entire paper. Once I finish here, I'm going to shift this over to the right and kind of make sure that that pattern goes along. I'm not too concerned about the backside and getting some of that ink, so that's absolutely fine. And here you go. The pattern is complete. Now all I have to do is clean up my work area. And this is a little tip for you. I use alcohol sanitizer just to kind of clean up my work area. It works wonders. There's a solvent in it that kind of helps with all the inks. So here's what we have. Now I am going to adhere that down right onto the card base, just as I was showing you a little bit earlier. I'm going to use my tape runner for this again and just get that right onto my card base. Please note that I'm standing the items in order to line them up. Now I just want to figure out how I want these laid out. And I'm not absolutely sure that these big gingermen will fit on that paper, or as a family. I kind of had the idea of putting together a nice family of 4 on this, but I think that it's best to probably use just the 2 gingerbread men for this on the card. And they do come with their little outfits. I've die cut everything out for this. I'm going to utilize the dress on one, the vest on the other, just kind of getting an idea for where I want things to kind of be. Now, isn't this adorable? I decided to go with a buffalo plaid for the dress on the little female. And I figured I would run that through on the bow for the boy. And as you can see, it actually turned out spectacular. And it also carried through the coloring from the background on the card, just in a different kind of color, but it still had that plaid. All I want to do now is just go in and start layering up my dress, the vest for the doll or for the gingerbread man, and just get everything laid out first on top of them. Get them dressed. I don't like seeing them naked. So one of the things that you're going to note is that there is a little bit of stitch detailing on the clothes and articles of these gingerbread men. What I decided to do for that was, in order to make it stand out, I kind of came back in with a jelly roll, and you'll see that a little bit later on. But you know, these particular dies do have quite a bit of detail into them. They have the little icing that you would find on the legs and arms, which is actually pretty neat. I love how well they fit onto these. You know exactly where they're going to line up because of the width. Now, when I decided to make this card, I had one person in particular in mind. And I have a friend who absolutely loves gingerbread men. She even had a craft event dedicated to this, and I figured this would be perfect for her. And look at there, the stitch detailing that these have. I'm going to add a couple of buttons, and these are little itty bitty things, so just be careful when you cut these out because they can get lost. I'm just going to come in with that jelly roll pen and just highlight those stitchings. I think because the cardstock is quite dark, that this actually worked very well for bringing out those details. As you can see, it stands out perfectly. Time to get these little guys adhered onto the card. So I'm coming in with some foam dots just to give this a little bit of dimension, not too much. I don't want it kind of laying flat up against that background. I want them to kind of stand out. So I'm going to go ahead and line both items with the foam dots. Now I am cutting some in half in order to be able to get those onto the arms and legs. Just makes my life easier. I don't always like wasting, so I'll even utilize the excess that you see there that these are cut out from. So I think I want to make sure that I line them up in the center. My sentiment is going to go on the bottom, right where that piece of craft cardstock is showing. So there we go. Now we're on to the sentiment. If you notice, I did have a little boo-boo, so it didn't quite stamp out as well as I would like with the VersaFine embossing ink. So I decided to utilize a black strip of cardstock in order to stamp my sentiment. So I'm just going to come in real quick and stamp off that sentiment, which is a sentiment I think I got off of a Gerda Steiner stamp set. And it says, "Have a sweet Christmas." Oh no, I got that from a Lawn Fawn stamp set. So it fit the theme perfectly for this particular craft. Now all I need to do is get this nice and embossed. I messed up on one side, so I flipped it over and tried again on the next. So as you can see, I do have boo-boos in my crafting, but you know what? That's not a problem. I can always fix an error. I can always go through and make corrections as I go, you know? For the sentiment, I'm using a white embossing powder just to make sure that it stands out on the black. I just want to make sure I take care of a little strays here and there, and then just take my heat gun and emboss that. All right, time to see where that's going to line up, and then I'm going to cut perpendicular just to give this a little bit more of a nice look. And then once I have that ready, I'm going to take some glue. I'm going to line the back just so that way it lines exactly where it's going to lie on the card. Now I did make this a little bit longer. All I'm going to do is kind of extend that past the card so I can trim it off with a pair of scissors. This will make my life that much easier. And if it would stay, would be nice. Now I like the look of the card so far. It just needs a little something, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do. I decided to add a little holly and berry. These are from Hobby Lobby. I got them for a trade that I was giving to a friend, and I figured that these would fit perfectly. It has a little bit of green that I'm looking for in order to really brighten up this card a little bit more. And these are actually, I believe they're acrylic. They do feel more like a very thin acrylic, possibly even a metal. I'm not too sure that has an acrylic finish to it. But I'm just going to spread them out and place them right between the two gingerbread people. Just like so. All right, now I still have my two gingerbread people that are enlarged. I decided to get them dressed up. I didn't want them to go to waste. I figured, well, if I have that little card and I can use that either as a gift, or I can put that with a gift and have these little gingerbread man and gingerbread women as tags, or maybe I can even use these for decorations on a tree just to kind of match everything that I have going on in my home. Because in my home, I have buffalo plaid everywhere for the holidays. I decided to make some stockings, and I figured that that would be nice to kind of match those, and my Christmas tree went along with it, and then I just started kind of snowballing from there. So this is where I figured they would be perfect. I'm just going to go ahead and punch these out now that I've got them dressed, and punch them right in the middle of the forehead. Add some string, and they make the perfect tag. Now I decided on utilizing red for my string. You can use any color that you like, but look, here they make the perfect little family, a card and some gift tags. I just don't know how much cuter this can be. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and like and leave a comment. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching Heartcraftpaper. For more videos and tutorials like these, don't forget to subscribe. Visit the website at www.heartcraftpaper.com.